Hey there, it's Shauna. Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for August 6th. This week I've titled Eclipsed Expressions because we have our very last eclipse of 2018 and it's in the sign of Leo, so it's all about expressiveness and how it is that you find your special place in the world as an expressive, creative individual. So as always, I'm excited to share the astrology of this week with you, and then I have 3 tips for you to make the most of this week. So let's get started. First things first, we have Venus square Saturn. And so Venus is about our relationships, our ability to connect with other people. It's also about love, beauty, harmony, romance, sex, etc. All of those things that we love to enjoy with others. And Saturn is about devotion. It's about boundaries. Saturn helps us to create structure in our lives. Saturn is related to the root chakra in the energy system. And so when these two come together, it can be experienced in 2 different ways. It can be experienced as really focusing and building your relationships and creating a strong and successful relationships, and all relationships of all kinds, business partnerships, acquaintances, things like this, romantic partners, etc. And I find that at the other end of the spectrum, the more harsh or problematic tone of this kind of aspect is where it can feel like relationships take on a more heavy, serious kind of tone, where there is a sense of duty to your relationships. And it can even sometimes feel like either you or your partner are being like very harsh to the other person. And so I noticed that a lot in people that have this aspect in their birth chart. It can feel like there's, again, either this sense of duty, responsibility in the relationship, or like where there's a harshness there. And so I just want you to notice this week like how that manifests for you, because that is just one possibility. The other way to look at this is like, how are you building your relationships? And it's a time of slowing everything down, proceeding with caution, and really noticing what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Feel, respond, don't hold back, but like notice, okay, like is this working for me? Is this sustainable for me? That's really what this aspect is about, is sustainability in your relationships. And the second thing that's happening this week, we have another square. We have the Sun and Mercury will square Jupiter. And so the piece that I really want to focus on here is the fact that Mercury will be squaring Jupiter. So Mercury is about our mind, our thought process, communication. And I want to focus on this because Mercury is retrograde right now. So it's in the sign of Leo, retrograde, and it's going to square Jupiter, which is about expansion. It's about liberating your worldview. When a planet aspects Jupiter, the symbolism of that planet is typically kind of like blown up, and we can think of it as being like larger than life. So Mercury, our mind, our thought process, this can manifest as having lots of big ideas, feeling like there's a lot to think about or a lot to analyze, especially because Mercury is retrograde. This is really important. So it may feel like you're reassessing a lot, or like you're craving to like reorganize and like clean things up, but then it kind of like blows up into this huge major project. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but like these are the kinds of things we think about: thoughts, communication, organization, feeling like there's a lot to go on here. And the cool thing is that Jupiter is inherently linked to synchronicity and to luck and to like a supportive kind of energy. The way to temper this is to know that if something feels like it's overwhelming or if it's too much, like you're in control of how it is that you scale that back, and you have the capacity to do that. So just know that whatever it is that you're working on or communicating, it may feel like there's a lot. And so that's good, because this is the Mercury retrograde time. It is a time of reassessing things. So I see Jupiter's coming in and symbolizing like a support there, but where it may feel like there's a lot. And then if that wasn't enough, we also have the new moon solar eclipse in Leo. So this is going to be exact on Saturday at 2:58 a.m. Pacific time. And it's exact at 18 degrees of Leo. So new moon solar eclipse. New moon is about the time of insemination. It's about new beginnings. The seed is being planted symbolically. And it's this time where our energy, the energy is internalized. It's a time of meditation. It's a time of going within. It's a time of, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but where you're meditating or you're doing something or you're driving and you get this idea. Like, this is the time of the new moon where you're in this space of meditation, and that can, again, just be going for a walk where you're like not consciously thinking and then something new comes in. This is the time of the new moon. And so the solar eclipse happening with the new moon, that is a symbol that it's something that's very important, and it's something that is connected to, we could say destiny, we could say karma, we could say your soul's purpose, but it's something that feels very meaningful. It's more than just the mundane, like I'd like to get a new job, or I'd like to have a partner, or I would like to be really successful with this project. Like, there's something that at an energetic level is more meaningful to you. And so we can look at the different layers of this. We can look at the sign for more information. So in the sign of Leo, Leo is about giving and receiving appreciation. And this is because Leo is also about how it is that we express ourselves individually, like how it is that we take what it is that we have, our gifts, and bring that out into the world and say, like, yes, this is what I feel, this is who I am, I have this inspiration, and I'm sharing it with you. And then being appreciated, being seen for that. And other things that can come up with this solar eclipse is the polar opposite of that as well, is feelings where maybe you don't feel seen, or you feel like you're doing something in order to get appreciation from others, but it's not really what you want to do. You're trying to appease others. Like, these are all things that can come up in Leo season, but especially with this solar eclipse in Leo. And so I want you to really notice where it is that your motivation is coming from. Like, how do you express yourself? How do you channel your passions? And is that really coming from internal motivation? Is there a piece of you that's doing it because of expectations? Is there a piece of you that's like hampering yourself or closing yourself in because of expectations? And if you notice that happening, that's not bad. Like, this is all just information. This is all just like during an eclipse, it's common for unconscious patterns to be revealed, and sometimes it can be kind of like shocking or disappointing when you're like, oh shit, like I did not know that about myself. And that's okay, you know, it's a part of the process. And so just notice all of that. Okay, so I have 3 tips for you to really tune in to all of this energy. Tip number 1 is to remember that you're awesome. And I say that because, again, Leo solar eclipse, there is something that you have that is unique to you, that you have to bring to the world, that needs to be expressed. And it's special, and it's important, and you're important, and you are awesome. And so I want you to remember that during this period. Tip number 2 is to focus on right now. And I say that because we have the Venus square Saturn, which is about like, okay, what is real for me, what's sustainable for me. And then we also have the Mercury Jupiter, which is about like big ideas and what it is that you want. Mercury square Jupiter can kind of have like an idealistic tone to it where like you want things to be a certain way. So I would say, so it can feel overwhelming this week, I think, especially with the solar eclipse. It can feel a little bit unstable or chaotic at an internal level. So I would say focus on right now. Focus on like what it is that you need to do today, what it is that you need to do this week. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed by the bigger picture this week. Focus on right now. And then tip number 3 is to take small steps every day. So whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're doing, even if that is just like getting through the week, take small steps. And that again is tuning into this Venus-Saturn energy. Saturn symbolizes where we benefit from taking small steps every day. Saturn shows us that the best things in life are not created by like this massive leap. Like that's Uranus. Uranus is not happening this week. Or there's no major aspects involving Uranus. But Saturn is like, no, like the beauty in life, the big accomplishments happen when we do one thing every single day, or we do one little tiny step in increments every single day, and then you add that all up over the long term, and then it's something beautiful and massive and like really strong and sustainable. So that's your last step, to take small steps every day. And then I'm gonna pull a little card for us, a little tarot card, and I had a quote that I wanted to share with you, but I don't have it pulled up, so I'm going to pull that up too, if I can find it. And so, so this is a tarot card from the Rider-Waite deck, and so I'll pull one card that will symbolize a bit of guidance for you for this week. So if there's something that you want to hold in your heart, if you want to just breathe and feel your body. Oh, okay, so I pulled the Knight of Pentacles. And so I'm laughing because this is a very like Venus-Saturn kind of card. And I drew it reversed also. So what this card means, so the Knight is about action, it's about initiation. The Knight is the warrior, the warrioress of the tarot. And the Pentacle is about material things. Cups are about emotion, swords are about thought, the Wands are about passion and desire, and the Pentacles are about the material world. It's a coin, makes sense, right? And this card in particular is really about slowing down. It's about doing things one step at a time. It's about having patience and not rushing, and it's about doing that particularly within the realm of material things, and we could say like material manifestation. And so I take this card as a symbol of like when it's reversed too, it's really about like being patient. That's really the main message of this card, is it's like, okay, don't go too fast, take your time, really take in what is happening around you. And it does not mean don't take action, because it's still a Knight. It's still about like doing something. This card, when it's reversed, it can also denote where like things feel like they're stuck, where things feel like you're in a rut. And so I would notice for that too. I would really notice like where it is that you feel like you're in a rut, and finding that discernment between where it is that you need stability and where it feels like you're stuck in the mud. Okay, and then I have one quote that I wanted to share with you that is such a beautiful... Okay, so of course I couldn't find the goddamn quote, but I found it now, and I just really wanted to share it with you because it's so beautiful and perfect for Leo. So this is by Martha Graham. She's an author, has written many wonderful books. She says, "There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into actions, and because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique." And so I wanted to leave that with you because that is the essence of Leo, is that there is something inside of you that's special, and there's only one of you, and you are unique, and we need what it is that you have to share with the world. We need your presence. So that is your horoscope for the week. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please share it with someone who you think would appreciate it as well. If you want to connect with me more, you can find me on Instagram under Neo-Feminine Astrology. You can also get more of me through Neo-Feminine TV. So that is inspiration and guidance for sensitive souls. It's a live weekly podcast that I do on YouTube and on iTunes, and you can find the episodes under neofemininetv.fireside.fm, and I'll have a link below for that. You can also find it on iTunes, of course. And this next week, this week I'm excited because we're going to be talking about what is neo-feminine. So that's a question that I get a lot, and I am really excited to share with you my views on what neo-feminine means to me, and then I want to hear what you think about it too. Like, what does that even mean to you when you think of it? What do you associate with it? And the neo-feminine to me is really about feminine energy, and I think it's the new progression of moving past feminism as just being about gender. It's about embracing feminine as an energy for men, women, all sexual and gender orientations. Like, there is, I think that's like the missing piece that will be integrated in the future as far as like valuing these qualities of feminine that are about nurturing and holding and intuition and spontaneous creativity, etc. So I'll save that for Neo-Feminine TV, but that I'll have a link below. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you'll get a notification on your phone or on your computer when I go live. But otherwise, you can find more information on that on the schedule on Instagram. And if you're interested in working with me, you can find out more about that also on neofemininetv.fireside.fm. If you want to do an astrological counseling session with me or an astrological session, I'll have more information there on that website. Wishing you a wonderful week, and I'll talk with you soon. Namaste.